CEOs are more optimistic about the global economy in the latest PwC Global CEO Survey, more optimistic than they have been since the survey started asking the question some 10 years ago. 77% of respondents predicted a stronger global economy this year. More than 4,000 CEOs responded to the survey, which closed before the emergence of Omicron. CEOs were most worried about cyber risks, of course, followed by the lingering pandemic and then macroeconomic volatility. Bob Moritz is the global chair at PwC. Bob's with me now. Bob, do you think that the results would be any different post-Omicron?
I think you probably would see a dampening of the results in terms of the optimism, but I don't think it'll be by much, Richard. The reality is the CEOs have dealt with a lot over the last 2 years, and they feel like they've actually created a degree of resiliency and opportunity that they can all capture, and that's why they're optimistic when you look across all of the various factors, including some of the risks you mentioned at the start.
Is that optimism merited? We have inflation, we have arguably stagflation in some places, we have higher interest rates, and we have a febrile market. So why are these CEOs so optimistic?
So let's put it all into context, Richard. The question comes back to, are you more confident that we'll see the economy increase compared to last year? And are you confident you can grow your revenues more so, looking forward for the next 12 months? The answer in terms of why they say yes is a combination of factors. Some of those things you've talked about, they are well aware of those. But let's also put into context the CEO's mindset right now. 2 years ago, a year ago, we were dealing with a tremendous amount of uncertainty. Not sure if we would get anybody back to the office. Not sure if we were dealing with the Spanish flu equivalent as we thought about COVID. So all relative to where we are today. The second thing I would say is that the CEOs have learned to make faster decisions to respond to their customers. The degree of customer confidence and their engagement, their willingness to respond to those customers, gives them the confidence that they can create a great customer experience. They have more trust. If they have more trust, they have more opportunities to raise revenues, and therefore the confidence comes through what they're saying in the PwC survey.
You raised the question of trust, and we've got two cases of, I suppose, trust in wider sense. You've obviously got the Djokovic case where it relates to COVID, and you've got the chairman of Credit Suisse who resigned because he'd taken some flights that he shouldn't have done and done travel he shouldn't have done. Now, I'm not asking you to comment directly necessarily on either of those cases. Instead, I'm asking you, is there a view that the rules don't apply to the elites, that somehow it's, to quote Leona Helmsley, the late Leona Helmsley, taxes are for little people?
Look, the reality here, Richard, is we are in a vastly new world. We see disruption in terms of the haves and the have-nots. And as a result, there is an awakening in terms of what is fair and just. And we see, as a result, changes to both rules, but also interpretations of rules. And that's going to be very important as CEOs, management teams, and the business community connect with their stakeholders. Because if there is no trust, they are either out of a job or out of business. And that's going to be the new world that they have to deal with going forward.
But Bob, how do you tell your staff, you've got several hundred thousand of them, how do you tell them you have to comport yourself properly? You have to behave. You are the privileged few. You have to behave as such.
Richard, many organizations, including PwC, go through a number of different initiatives to ensure the appropriate behavior, and when we have exceptions, deal with them appropriately, fast, and transparently, and fairly. For example, we put our people through ethics training every single year. We ask them to pass tests based upon that training. We also ask them to self-administer and self-report in terms of their adherence to those requirements. These are the kind of things that enable trust inside of an organization, as well as how they interact with those outside of an organization. And this concept of trust and stakeholder engagement is so important, be it your investors, your consumers, your employees, or those in the communities of which you operate. And that world is now a bigger judge through social media. We see it.
Right.
Decisions like those you mentioned are getting to the media faster, so the brand is being impacted. So brand management and overall risk management and the training and ethical behavior is key for any organization, we will argue, going forward.
Well, you and I should have been having this conversation face to face up a mountainside in Switzerland. All I know is we will someday have that conversation, or a conversation, up that mountainside and be complaining about the weather. Good to see you, Bob.
Good to see you as well.
Thank you.